Okay, Internet's podcast community. This is episode 21 of Three Questions Podcast. My name's Cam. Thank you guys for watching, whether it's on YouTube or whether you're listening on Spotify. Again, Three Questions Podcast. You send in 3 questions, user submitted. You can submit it anonymously on ckcollective.co. Message them to the Instagram account or email 3questionspodcast@gmail.com to submit your questions. I need questions. So if you're listening here to episode 21, please send in some questions. Primarily, they've been about business. I have a lot of good ones that I have peppered into, I guess from some of my other meetings. I've peppered them in so that I can sort of bring them to a wider audience. So these are submitted from me, but come out of some of my conversations that I'm having with clients as well. If you don't know, my name's Cam. I offer coaching in one of 2 ways. You can either book hour-long sessions with me. You can book different packs or groups of sessions with me for lower prices, the more you get, obviously. Or if you have a business or a side project that you are working on, you can purchase my one-time fee, CMO for hire, and it will help you grow that business week in and week out. I have a lot of clients on both that come to me with a lot of really, really unique things. A lot of the sessions that I do have with people, they're coming to me with excellent questions, things that I have to research, things that I maybe get back to them with. And I always have WhatsApp support for my clients as well. So without further ado, I would like to get into the questions for Three Questions Podcast. And here we go. Question number 1. Should I be concerned about being single in my late 20s or early 30s? So my client, who you know who you are, the answer is no. You should never be concerned about being single. So many people view being single as this really trite thing, that there's something wrong with you, that you're not good enough, that you can't find the right person, that you don't have enough money, or you don't look a certain way, or you don't have the right job, or you don't drive the right car, and that's why you're single. And I wish people could just see the power, because if you can be single and you don't need anybody, this is the best time for you to work on yourself. This is the best time to find yourself, right? Whether it's different hobbies, whether it's a volunteering option, something that you like to do, if it's, a new sport that you want to try, if it's a new place you want to go, you have all the time in the world and nobody is holding you back, or you're not neglecting them because you're putting time into this other thing, right? Get involved with jujitsu, go take a Korean class, go learn how to make pasta, and just go hang out with your friends, right? It doesn't all have to be about personal growth, but you have time to watch movies that you've always wanted to watch. You have time to go read books. You can literally do so much. And I wish people really discuss being single as, hey, this is a time of empowerment for me, for you, instead of oh, you need to be in a relationship because you look weird if you're not in a relationship, or if you're not having a partner around you, or not having sex consistently, whatever it is. People need to start viewing being single as, hey, that person has a bunch of time to sort of pour into themselves and fill their own cup, because relationships really work out when you are single and you take that time to fill up your own cup, right? To the point where you feel happy, you feel content. There's no place you'd rather be. There's no one you'd rather be with. Maybe it's with friends, maybe it's not, but either way, you don't feel like you're having FOMO. When your cup is finally full, that is when universe, God, whoever brings that person into your life. And I have met very few people where that situation hasn't really happened. And I think it's very difficult, because I've certainly been there. I got dumped like a week after I turned 30. And I thought something was wrong with me, right? My whole world came crashing down. I had this huge identity crisis for like the next year, and it was very, very tough. It was a very trying time for me. I lost 2 jobs within that time space too. I left a side project company. It's this whole thing called Saturn returns that we don't need to talk about in this question, but you have got to understand that being single in your late 20s or early 30s is a time of empowerment. Switch jobs, create a new hobby, create a new persona, really find yourself again, and rewrite that story. Okay, if you're coming out of a breakup or you've just been single for forever, this is not the time to compare. It's not the time to look at people in relationships. And I'll tell you that all the people that I know in their late 20s or early 30s that are married or in relationships, not all of them are sunny. Okay, a lot of them have their own difficulties, or they have kids, or they have a mortgage, or they're stuck in jobs that they hate, and then never really took the time to go travel or to even spend with themselves because they've been in a relationship for 5, 6, 7 years. Trust me, I was there. It almost happened to me. And I was super grateful to be single for, a couple of those years, because I was like, damn, who am I? What do I want to do when I'm 80 years old? How do I want to look back on my life And for me, the times where I've been single have truly been the times where I've been able to make myself the happiest. And I wish that more of my clients could really see being single as a time of empowerment. I work with a lot of single males, and even the males that are in a relationship, all the time that you pour into that relationship, do not forget to pour time into the things that you really want to do as well. Finding that balance is really what makes those relationships work. So no, it's not a problem. Do not be concerned about being single in your late 20s or 30s. I promise you that. Okay. That's 4 minutes on that question. I'm going to jump to question number 2. Question number 2 is, how do you know when you found the one? Okay. I used to think and believe, and regardless of whatever you perceive or believe to be how things work, this is just my opinion. 3 questions podcast, short, 3 questions, 5 minutes each. I love doing this. A lot of them benefit my clients. I hear it from them in the private sessions. So I know that people are listening to this, and I hope that you can take this to heart, but never take it personally. How do you know when you found the right one? For me, this is what it looks like. Okay. When I found the right one, when I have found the right one, and I found the wrong one, I'll talk about that difference in a second. But for me, it now looks like, hey, is this somebody I can go to war with, right? Is this somebody that can play the part of my lover and my best friend? Okay. Is this somebody that I can be mad at, right, but still find attractive? Is this somebody that I can say, hey, I don't feel like my needs are being met, can we find some common ground here? Is this someone that I trust if I'm away for a little while? Okay. Is this someone that I would want to be the mother of my children? Is this someone I would want to introduce to my family? These are questions innately that all of us ask and sort of perceive when we're dating or in a relationship. And all the little things that someone else does, and you yourself are privy to this too, but everything you do is measured subconsciously by the opposite person in a relationship. Meaning that if you two had a mutual bank account, okay, you can consider that both of you have access to this bank account. It's called an emotional bank account. Who's the one depositing money into it, right? Who's doing the little things? And then every time you do something that's kind of shitty, right, you break your word, or you don't do something, or you get in an argument, who's the one sort of withdrawing money? And that's not so that you can hold and point the finger to it, but over time, that's what makes or breaks a relationship. Okay. All the little memories, all the little fun things, all the flowers, the notes, the letters that you write, all of those things are obviously considered as deposits into that relationship. And I would say that you found the right one when your own reciprocity is sort of met when it comes to that emotional bank account. Okay. If this is someone that you would want to hang out with, okay, is this someone you can go travel with them? Actually, travel is a big one. If I can travel with my partner and not want to kill them, that's a huge one for me. Okay. Because I love traveling. I want to go new places. Is this person excited? Are they tired? Are they a drain on my energy? That's a no-go criteria for me. If somebody can't travel well, no, that's tough. But obviously you only know that from being in intimate relationships with this person. So for the sake of this question, how do you know when you found the right one? It's so different for you. But I would say figure out the reciprocity of that emotional bank account. Okay. How often is this person depositing into there? Or is this person accountable for their mistakes? Does this person want to find common ground, or are they super stubborn? Okay. I've been in relationships where you get into an argument and then you try to find some common ground, and the other person is sort of unwilling or very resentful, or they hold on to that stuff sort of forever. This tends to be more of a female trait, right? A lot of women that I've dated, maybe it's because I'm Irish and Italian and I'm also stubborn, but I've found that my partners in the past have also been extremely stubborn. And that makes it very difficult to come back from arguments, okay? To sort of say, hey, I can change. This happened in the past. We've done this. We've moved on from that. And finding someone who can accept you for that, right? Knowing your faults, never forgetting them, but being able to forgive you, that is so clutch. Because the one is definitely sort of a Disney myth that has been pushed upon us. And I would say that you need to find somebody that you can go to the trenches with, right? When I say you can go to war with this person, I'm not saying head to head against them, but I'm saying that this person, you need to know and trust that this person is not going to leave your side. And from what I've come to understand, my own personal 2 cents is that men are very loyal to our words. We want to protect and provide. Our word is our bond. That's all we have. That's our reputation. As a man, that is so important to us. Okay. Women are loyal to their emotions. So if their emotions trump their word, they will go with their emotions. And sometimes that emotions can be so strong that it overrides the I do aspect of your relationship. So you need to understand that while women very much can be people of their words, right? They are the most loyal to their emotions. And that is not a knock against women. I love women. I support women. But from all the research and the books that I found, that is like the one truest thing I've ever read or come across. And I'd like to leave you with that for that question. That's 5 minutes. Whew. All right, let me go to question number 3. Okay. So what makes a relationship great? I love this. I love this because it's such a trivial question. What makes a relationship great? Okay. I would say that my relationships have certainly had great moments. There have been great times. Okay. But I don't really know that and this sounds so terrible to even say on a podcast, but I don't know that I've ever had a quote unquote great relationship without difficulties. I think that part of being in the light means that you've been in the darkness. Part of being in the darkness means that you've been in the light, and vice versa. I think there's a yin and a yang to all things. And I think that what makes a relationship great consistently is communication, trust, loyalty. I think when you have those 3 things, I don't communication, trust, and loyalty is literally built on those pillars. And peppered in on top of that, I'll give you more kind of hermity type things, but new experiences, right? New experiences, whether it's going to a comedy show, going to a concert, or going to some sort of venue, any type of experiences, new shopping, traveling as well. And then the consistency to grow over time. Okay. I talk so much about the 6 pillars of what I call the 6 pillars in life. And those are mental, physical, emotional, financial, academic, and spiritual. Those 6 pillars, if somebody is growing in all 6 of those areas in their life, I would consider that person to be growing in a positive direction and somebody that I would want to include into my network. Okay. And I think that in a relationship, you don't necessarily need to measure your partner by all 6 of those, right? If you incorporate those 6 things into your life, awesome, good for you. That's how I do it. But my partner doesn't necessarily need to be working on or growing in all 6 of those things simultaneously, like I want to, or I try to. And that's exhausting in and of itself. However, the fact is that my partner now, she's, going to school, she's learning new stuff, right? She's going to the gym, she's trying new workout classes, she's learning more about health, she's learning more about finances. And she's doing all of these things simultaneously without me pushing or needing that. And I find that to be very attractive. Okay. What makes a relationship great, and I think this typically falls on men, is men, we need to be able to anticipate those things that our partner needs. Okay. Whether it's male, female, or undefined, I think you always need to be able to anticipate your partner's needs. Hey, is this person going to be tired? When does this person want a new experience? How can I sort of be thoughtful ahead of time for them, right? When's their next big test? Can I send flowers? When should I bring over a bottle of wine? When should I take her out on a camping trip to sort of relax and get away from the world? One of the people in a relationship needs to be anticipating the other person's needs. And if it's 50-50, that's great. Most relationships that I've seen and I've been in, usually it's one-sided, right? One person is sort of giving or anticipating more often, and whether that person likes to or that's just how they are, as long as they are doing that without some sort of condition, right? If they are doing that unconditionally, awesome, right? When I am able to give, when I give to my partner, I give unconditionally. I don't need them to reciprocate. It's nice to be thanked, right? But I enjoy doing that. I enjoy providing for my partner. I enjoy taking her out to dinner. I enjoy paying for groceries, like driving to the store. I like doing those things. I don't need her to reciprocate in those sort of ways. And I think in intimate relationships, what makes a relationship great is knowing that somebody else can take over the wheel for you, right? Somebody else can get behind the driver's seat. If you're tired, if you need a break, if you need to pick me up, you can rest or do whatever. That to me is what makes a relationship great. And the constant addition of adding to that emotional bank account is also a huge one. But overall, what makes a relationship great? Not holding resentment, having new fun experiences, communication, trust, loyalty, obviously cornerstones of that. Honesty, being able to just talk openly about your needs, right? If you feel like something's not being met, just feeling like there's a safe space without judgment or anger. the ability to travel and the ability to have new experiences. Relationships shouldn't be so difficult. But I think because we have so many options in today's world from so many different apps, or there's so many people out there, that we always think we can do better, or we think we don't have to put up with this bullshit. But sometimes it's going through these little rough patches that's what makes a relationship so great. Okay. If it was all sunshine and ponytails and cupcakes, you'd probably get sick after a little bit, wouldn't you? I certainly would. So I need the peaks and valleys along with any sort of relationship. And I hope that sort of makes sense for you. That's sort of my culmination about it. I know we talked a lot about relationships in this one, episode 21, but please submit your questions, 3questionspodcast@gmail.com, or you can find it on Instagram _3questionspodcast. And please go to the website, ckcollective.co. You can book sessions with me. You can book a free 30-minute meeting with me any night of the week, or you can sign up for sessions. I'll send you an invoice and you just pay as you go. That's all it is. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm going to record a bunch of these right now, probably after some tea or some coffee, but I appreciate you guys for listening. Like, subscribe, do whatever if you're listening on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one.